Hi, my name's David Manning. I'm the President and CEO of Televerus Travel. In the next few minutes, I want to share with you in depth the 3D compensation plan. To say we're excited here at Televerus is an understatement. When you see the power of this compensation plan, it's never been done before. You know, a lot of people say you should patent it so no one else can steal it. Someone change a few numbers here and there. Sure, they could take this compensation plan, but they're not going to do it. Why? Because Televerus pays a higher percentage of commissions out than anyone ever has in history. So no one wants to steal it because they don't want to have to pay out these kind of commissions. And today, I'm going to break down for you the power of all three phases: the binary, the matrix, and the coded part of the plan. Today you'll also learn, for those brand new people out there, some of the vocabulary you will hear when you hear people talking about compensation plans. And you're also going to hear for the first time the weaknesses of compensation plans. Because I can promise you, no matter what company it is, they're not going to tell you the weakness of their plan. But I want to. So when other companies approach you and maybe they have a binary and it sounds so exciting, and it is the fastest growing out there, you need to know the weakness of the binary. And then when you see the matrix and how it overcomes the weakness of the binary, and how the coded plan is actually built to overcome the weakness of both. And when you put them all three together, it's magic. It's magic. Now the spare time, the part-time, the full-time people, you have an unbelievable opportunity to make the kind of income that you want to make. And that's the key to any opportunity. Maybe some of you just want to take the vacations, but I can promise you a lot of you want to turn this in to hopefully your future, your career. And you can do that here at Televerus. We've had a lot of people do it already, and it's here for you. So now let's break down. Let's start with our binary, which is the gateway to all three compensation plans. So let's take a solid look at the Televerus binary gateway. First of all, in the binary, you have to understand, let's take a picture of you. You have a left side and a right side. Remember, binary means two. Also, I want you to remember, when you look at the compensation plan, a lot of people get confused because they start thinking, well, wait a minute, in my matrix, that person was on my second level, but in my binary, they're on a different level. When the computer runs the binary comp plan, that part of the plan, it only knows about a binary. You've got to ignore the other parts. When it moves to the matrix, it forgets about a binary. So right now, we're only looking at the way the binary works. So you have you, and when you make your first recruit, which is Ted, Ted would fall on your left side. Now, in order to earn in the binary, you must have one person personally enrolled that's active on the left and active on the right. What does the word active mean? It means they're not only in the company, they're paying their monthly subscription fee or product fee, which now enables you to earn income off the business volume they create. So right now you have Ted. When you bring in your second person, let's say Sue, you would want to set in your back office, you will see left side, right side, strong side, weak side. It's very important in the beginning you set up, and if your first person comes in on your left, you want your second person to come in on your right. So Sue would now go on your right side. This triggers your binary to start earning income. And every time someone makes a sale, it creates business volume either on your left or your right in your binary. So let's say when Ted got involved, he's worth 100 business volume. And when Sue got involved, let's say she's worth 100 business volume. In this case, you have 100 on your right, 100 on your left. But as you get more people involved, and as Ted gets people involved and Sue gets people involved, it's going to start creating more business volume in your binary. Now, it's important to understand, everyone you personally bring in is either going to fall on your left side or your right side all the way down. You don't fill in on the inside legs of Sue or Ted. You're building the outside legs. So now let's say you bring in Bob before Ted or Sue does anything. Bob would now fall on your left side. And this has now become your strong side. Why? Think about it. You have more business volume on this side than you do your right, so your left becomes your strong side. So at this case, I go to my back office and I now check weak. I want all of the new people that I personally bring into the business to fall on my weak side. In this case, when I bring in my fourth person, Mary, she's going to fall on my right side underneath Sue. So Sue hasn't did anything yet, but look what happened. I just helped her get someone underneath her. And when Sue brings in her first person, let's say Sue brings in Jan, it now fell on her inside leg. So you ask yourself, has she triggered her binary yet? No, because she only personally has one person she brought in. She's got to now get someone on the right side. So let's say Sue brings in Mark. It's going to fall right here. So now Sue has an active person on her right. She has an active person on her left. She's now triggered income. But the good news is, and I've got an imaginary line drawn down the middle of your binary, everything that happens on the right side, Sue, Jan, Mary, Mark, it's all creating volume for you on your right side. Everything that happens on the left side is now creating volume for you on the left side. Pay period runs from Monday to Sunday night. So let's say now it's Sunday night, midnight, the pay period ends. The computer will add up all of the volume on your left, and let's just use an example and say you had 3,000 in business volume. And it adds up all the volume that took place on the right, and let's say that added up to 5,000 business volume. The computer will now pay you 15% of your weak side. Which side's your weak? Obviously 3,000 business volume. So it's going to pay you 15% of 3,000, which is $450. Not bad for a week's work. Starting Monday morning, guess what? The computer will now say you used up 3,000 of your volume, so it's going to subtract 3,000 over here, leaves you 2,000, and you start the new week with 2,000 volume in your right leg, which is now your strong leg. All of the new business you do is going to go to your left side. And the following week, this could become your strong side. If a lot of momentum takes place and you surpass the volume that's on your right, guess what? The back office, you've got it set to weak. It will automatically switch and start loading your weak side now. At the end of the week, it's going to pay you 15% of the weak side volume. Now, one of the more exciting ways you also earn in the binary is for the people out there that are building a business, recruiting people, making sales. As you move up the ranks, you start out in our program, either you're an RTC or a leisure travel consultant. But once you get promoted to executive and you say, well, how do I do that? One of the best ways is 3 personal sales in your first 30 days. Not only does it get you promoted to executive, but it gets you to a position you're now earning in all 3 parts of the comp plan. That's why we call it the 3D. But as you move up the ranks and become an executive, a regional, a national, an international executive, or a presidential executive, you can earn 10 to 30% match on every commission the people you personally enroll earn in the binary. So for example, let's say Ted earned $500 commission this week in the binary. You personally enrolled Ted, and let's say you were a national. You would get 20% of the $500 that Ted earned, so you would now make $100 off that matching bonus. And anyone else you personally brought into the business, if they earned money in the binary that week, you would earn 20% of their commission because you're a national executive. So those are the way the binary works. You heard me say earlier, what's the weakness to the binary? It's because if you get a big builder above you and they build your outside legs, it makes it pretty simple for you to build the inside. But if you don't have any strength above you, you've got to build both sides of your binary. And by doing that, some people can't do it. So what happens? They don't earn income. Then what happens? They quit. But that's where you're going to see later the power of the matrix is going to overcome the weakness of the binary.